Every morning you wake up, I want you to say this one powerful prayer. No matter what religion you follow, I learned this from Louis Hay, who's a world-famous speaker and the best-selling author of the book, You Can Heal Your Life. Please make sure to save this so that you can use it as a reminder. As soon as you wake up, close your eyes and say this all as well. Everything is working out for my highest good, and out of each experience I go through, only good will come to me. I am safe, I'm protected, and I'm loved. This prayer works like magic. Because even before you start your day, you're priming your subconscious mind to look for the good in everything that is about to happen in your day. This helps you completely shift your perspective and have an optimistic approach towards life. Most of us, in fact, all of us know what we want in life, but most people give up when they face challenges in life.
If you take this from me, you will be a better person, whether you like me or you don't. If you decide today that you're gonna live every day like it's your last for real, which means have a conversation with yourself every night that, okay, that was it. May not be no more after that. And really count yourself every day like this could have been it. All right, before I go to bed, this could be it. All right, how's that looking? If you can do that, it'll change your life. You'll really start making decisions and living your life like this all you got, just this one day. But you could be a winner. You could be a winner on this day.
Now, the Buddha versus Christ consciousness. It's not so much that one is below the other. They sit on different axes of the mandala. Buddha consciousness is the frequency of awareness without entanglement. It sees the illusion and releases it. It says desire is the root of suffering. Let go. Christ consciousness is the frequency of love within entanglement. It says even in pain, I will love. Even through betrayal, I will serve. One is emptiness. The other is fullness. Buddha says, step out of the world. Christ says, step deeper into it without losing yourself. So they are not ranked. They are complementary paths to transcendence. You could say Buddha dissolves the self. Christ transforms the self into a vessel for the whole. Buddha sits still and watches the storm pass. Christ walks into the storm and says, peace, be still. Both lead to union, but they offer different roads, one through silence, one through surrender. So the question becomes, which path calls to your heart right now? Or are you dancing both into one?
I've made some of my favorite memories with people that I will never speak to again. And that's the strange part about life. Some chapters hold laughter, love, and late-night talks, but still end without closure. You don't always get a goodbye. Sometimes people just fade into the background, leaving behind echoes of moments that once meant everything. It hurts, not because the memories weren't real, but because the connection wasn't meant to last. We shared secrets, made promises, and planned futures that never happened. And yet, I wouldn't erase them, because in those moments, even if temporary, we were exactly who we needed to be for each other. I've learned that not everyone is meant to stay in your story forever. Some people are lessons, some are blessings, some are both. And just because we don't speak anymore doesn't mean I've forgotten.
Today's message. To fall asleep, you must first pretend to be asleep. And that's exactly how everything else works too. There is no such thing as a coincidence. Listen to this again until it clicks. Then share today's message with a friend.
There's always a moment right before you repeat the cycle where you know that you're about to do the thing that you know you shouldn't do. Whether it's eating the sugar, whether it's hitting up the ex, whether it's going to the websites you know you shouldn't be on. And there's a choice to be made there. Repeat the cycle or break the pattern. And when you break the pattern, something happens. You don't go in a circle anymore. You go deeper within. This is the spiral of life that's repeated in all of nature, the sacred geometry of you. And the more you choose to go within rather than to repeat the pattern, the more beautiful your life gets, the more rooted in nature you become, and the more tapped into the divine you will see everything. Cheers to the people who are choosing to go within and not let their body control their mind, but the vice versa. It is meant to be a tool, not your master. So, cheers to you, my friend.
Why hate, man? You know, it's an expensive emotion. Hating requires a lot of caring. I'd rather not.
My dad passed away about 7 years ago. And when I went home for the funeral, I came back to work afterwards, and people were like, you know, where were you last week? And I said, oh, my dad passed away. I was at his funeral. And everyone would say basically some version of, oh, my condolences, I'm so sorry. And then they would move on to other stuff because they didn't know what to say. They were worried about saying the wrong thing. They were worried about it being awkward. But like, I had just been thinking for the last week all about my dad. Like, this is like the biggest thing in my life. If someone had said, you know, what was your dad like? Like, tell me about him. I would have loved that, right? It would have felt like such a gift for someone to say, like, tell me about the eulogies. What did people say about him? What was amazing? So oftentimes we avoid the conversation not only because we're worried about something we don't want to talk about, we avoid the conversation because we are worried that we will talk about something and we don't know how to handle it. And the answer is, the best thing we can do is to ask that deep question.
You don't have 5 senses. They lied to you. You have 15. I feel like teaching on tonight. Grab your notepad. Here's the deal. You are a spirit. You live in a body and you have what is known as a soul. Let's start with the weakest of the three, which are your bodily senses. These are the weakest because they are limited in ability and dogmatic in essence. So let's start there. Your sight, your touch, your smell, your taste, and your hearing. You understand those. Now, let's talk about the soul. Your mind, your will, your emotions, your imaginations, and your affections. These are the components of your soul. Your mind, what it is that you think. Your will, your ability to actually do, that willpower, that drive that you have to go and try, and that drive that you have to go and do specific things. Your emotions, what it is that you feel. Your affections, who it is that you feel those things for. And your imagination, your ability to see it before you can see it. Dig me? That's your soul. Now let's talk about the spirit. Prayer, praise, worship, faith, and meditation. When I pray, I talk to God about my problems. When I praise, I talk to my problems about my God. When I worship, I am giving God his due diligence and I am giving glory to his essence and just who he is and thanking him for everything that he's done and everything that he is doing and everything that he will. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Faith is the medium that I use to get me to think and to do specific things in my life. Faith, that's what that is. And meditation. Meditate on the book of the law day and night. That's biblical. Here's the deal. Meditation just means focus. Focus is your selective attention. You never lose focus. Your focus simply shifts. So if you put your focus on this, you cannot simultaneously have your focus on so many other things. That is why meditation is so important. Focus is so important. You don't have 5 senses, you have 15. I'm going to keep it very, very surface level and I'm going to stop talking now. I hope you learned something and I love you. Let's get it. Yay!
So what if God showed up to you tonight and said, okay, the answer is yes? You're like, what? Everything you've prayed for the last week. How would this world be different? Would your world be any different? Or would you just be thankful for the day? And your food would have nourished your body. And you got a parking spot and hit a couple green lights. And Georgia would be Clemson. And whatever your thing is. I mean, think about it, man. Would there still be racism and injustice? Would there still be unreached people groups? Would all of your relationships be reconciled? Like, what are you praying for? Listen, if our prayers are not intimidating to us, they very well could be, they could be insulting to the Almighty God.
The biggest entrepreneurial mistakes I've made in my career have all come from splitting my attention. Every one of them. As soon as I did that, my revenue started slowing down in its growth.
Why did you?
I was like, I don't want to leave money on the table. I should not have done that. I want to be so violent about this. You are always going to leave money on the table. That is the result of focus. But you're leaving a small amount of money on the table to pursue the much larger money that's on another table of just sticking with the thing that you're on right now.
Best advice you can give a young man so he can be good, to have a successful life. He said, you got to remember, in every person you meet, there's a little piece of God in them, and that's who you talk to. And I added to that, but make sure they see it in you first. Wow. So that's what my life principle is about. Make way for life. Please make way for life. Find the piece of God in you and show it.
The Kipling poem, it's one of my favorites since I was a boy at school. My father read it to me once. And I think it to me as a little boy, it summed up what a man should be. If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you, if you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowances for their doubting too, if you can dream and not make dreams your master, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, if you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two impostors just the same, if you can make one heap of all your winnings and risk it on one turn of pitch and toss and lose and start again at the beginning and never breathe a word about your loss, if you can force your heart and nerve and sinew to serve your turn long after they are done, and so hold on when there is nothing in you except the will which says to them, hold on. You'll be a man, my son.
I don't know the name of the God you whisper to, or if you bow to none at all, but feel the weight of the stars pressed into your palms at night. Perhaps your God hums in the wind that tangles through your hair, or settles in the stillness of morning when the world holds its breath. Maybe God is the ocean's pull, or the laughter of someone who knows your name like it was written in the first language. Perhaps your God lives in the seeds that break through stubborn earth, or the way rain cleanses everything, even the places we thought were beyond repair. You might not call your God, God. Maybe you call it hope. Maybe it's the love in someone's eyes when you think you deserve none. Maybe you don't know yet, and that's okay too. What matters isn't the shape or the name, but the way it softens the sharp edges of the world, how it reminds you to keep breathing when the air feels like glass. We find God in the spaces between, in the stillness after a storm, in the long embrace that softens grief, in the hand that reaches for yours, in the courage to get up when everything inside you says, stay down. What matters is what it does for you. How it builds a bridge when all you see is water, how it threads a light through the needle of your darkest days. And whether you kneel, or dance, or cry, whether you believe, or just hope, know this: God is not far. It is the pulse beneath your skin, the fire in your chest, the voice that says you are more than what you've lost. It is the road beneath your weary feet, the whisper that calls you home to yourself again and again. And when you doubt, it is the sun rising anyway, a quiet reminder that even in the absence of faith, you are held.
Good morning, Kings. It is your daily reminder that making putts makes you money. Making putts makes you money. You hit every fairway, you hit every green, you make every putt because making putts makes you money. Making putts makes you money. Making putts makes you money. Making putts makes me money. I hit every fairway, I hit every green, I make every putt. I hit every fairway, I hit every green, I make every putt. I hit every fairway, I hit every green, I make every putt. I hit every fairway, I hit every green, I make every putt. Making putts makes me money. You got it. Making putts makes me money. It actually helps if you say the words out loud. Did you know that your words create your reality? Your throat chakra. If you don't know about chakras, if you think they're woo, it's okay. You don't have to know about them. You don't have to believe in them. They're real. And by consciously bringing your attention to them and consenting to continue to listening to me talk, my throat chakra is so activated that by you hearing my words, even through a phone screen, will activate you in a really profound way if you desire to be activated. So by consenting with me for the last 10 seconds, say making putts makes me money. I don't care if you're at work. Making putts makes me money. Making putts makes me money. Be the guy that makes putts. Everybody loves that guy.
Never refriend or refamily a person who tried to destroy your character, your integrity, or your relationships with others. A snake only sheds its skin to be a bigger snake. If others fall victim and walk away from you because of that, let them. Sooner or later, the snake will bite them too.
And you know, I think sometimes our older brothers, they kind of like, they take the speed bumps for us, like as younger brothers, so that we don't have to. My brother went through a lot of stuff so that I didn't have to go through it, and then I get to see him and learn.
My brother's the most important thing to me. Probably more important than anything.
My brother has been really great for me. My brother has been really, man.
make fun of me for using shea butter. But what's funny is he doesn't know that Vaseline is gasoline and he's on a high-octane diet of fueling himself with poison. See, what's highly advertised is taking lives. From the food to the clothing, yes, clothing. Read the ingredients it's soaked in. But back to the Vaseline, better yet the lotion. With cancer-causing agents, even your perfumes, the fragrance. And all the foods are fake. I don't care if you fry or bake. And plant-based is made in a plant. I wouldn't trust anything with a government stamp. U.S. approved. They're poisoning the food. And the ingredients are deadly but silent, throwing off the body's balance. Messing with the hormones, making men feminine and giving women more testosterone. And ladies, you wonder why you want to be toned, strong. You like poison, he don't. Cause most of it is plastic, they're killing us with acid. If you won't, I'll ask it. Why do they encourage us to eat 3 times a day when you can heal the body with fasting? I'm just asking. And everything have soy. Confusing the boys, giving them estrogen, changing men from kings to queens, and they telling us this is a normal thing. But here's the deal. In the early 1900s, the Rockefellers took over the medical field. At that moment, true medicine was killed. See, contrary to popular belief, real medicine is how and what you eat. I know I'm gonna get a lot of ahs and disbelief, but dessert is not a treat. And they feeding us crazy. And if you believe them, you are what you eat.
Yo, quick reminder. Although this year was hard for you, your life's about to shift. Things didn't go your way. You lost things that felt unbearable to lose. And you experienced tribulation that had no explanation. But one thing about God is that He's a master at using all things for your good. He's got a plan with your name on it. And He used the storm that you face to prepare you for what's coming. What's about to happen next is about to blow your mind. Congratulations in advance.
Instead of thinking about what it is that you want, imagine that all the things that you want are done right now because creation is finished. That's the truth. Time is an illusion. We are just moving our conscious awareness from one experience to another. But the book of your life, the book of humanity, the book of this entire experience has already been written, right? We just happen to be on page 67 or 77 or whatever page we're on right now. The book has been written, okay? Creation is finished. So move to immediately, how would I feel if all of the circumstances in my life were exactly as I desire them to be? Okay, if creation was finished, which it is, move to exactly how you want to feel, okay? Do this once a day. Remember, imagine you just arrived here, no past, no future. You don't have to imagine because that's the truth. Take into consideration, put yourself in a calm, relaxed state and take into consideration exactly what it is that you desire to be living in your life. Summon the feeling, okay? A lot of people talk about the frequency or vibration or the essence. As Archangel Michael would call this, the essence or vibration of the experience. Summon that exact essence or vibration and hold that feeling for as long as possible. Ignore the illusion. As Neville Goddard would say, turn your back on the 3D, right? Turn your back on the illusion of the 3D circumstances. They're just the residue of the past. That's all that the 3D illusion is showing you, the residue of your past thoughts, ideas, beliefs, what you believe to be true. That's what the 3D illusion is showing you. It's the residue of the past. Turn your back on the illusion and the circumstances because they're just the residue of the past, and understand that we're creating from this present moment flow state. No past, no future.
If you've got something that you're really wanting, try shifting to a question. I stopped asking the universe for more clients and started asking if there were people that I could serve, people that I could help. Within hours, I had consultation calls booked. I had people reaching out. The response was immediate. I did this with a client who's a musician and she was wanting more exposure for her music. It became, are there people who want to hear my music? Are there people whose lives would be enhanced, enriched, forever better? I'm hearing my creativity expressed out into the world.
Vibrate so high that anybody with evil intent can't even be in your space. Vibrate so high that you hear the collective consciousness. Vibrate so high that you walk a path that many are scared to travel. Vibrate so high that standing in your presence raises another person's frequency. Vibrate so high that you become who you have in your mind's eye. Vibrate so high that you walk with your higher self in your ancestors. Vibrate so high that you heal yourself.
He should have killed me when he had the chance, because now I'm back and I'm gonna kill you and your whole fucking team. You and them bitch kids. If this was a different time, I would invade his favela on horseback and kill anyone that was not fit to walk. This man is gonna learn that if you disrespect a person's kindness and take it as a weakness, you must pay. Tomorrow night, I'm gonna make this man pay with his life, and I mean it. You're dead in that octagon tomorrow night.
Fuck peace. There will never be peace here. I always say you should aim for peace. But if you can't aim for peace, aim between the eyes. And that's it. I'm gonna aim right between that man's eyes, and this is never over.
I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, I'd like to take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody. The double champ does what the he wants. Let me raise this. This is what I want to do. This is what I dreamed into reality. Oh, that looks good. That looks good. God bless.
You can't expect everyone to see your vision as clear as you do. That will never happen. So we got to accept that. I accepted it, but we're going to put in even more work. And once the time comes, whoever counted me out, I'm going to just prove to you, you couldn't count.
I believe in best case scenarios.
I believe in best case scenarios.
Best case scenarios are unfolding all around me.
Best case scenarios are unfolding all around me.
And through me.
And through me.
For me.
For me.
And from me.
And from me.
Things are working out really well.
Things are working out really well.
And I'm having a great time.
And I'm having a great time.
Feeling it all.
Feeling it all.
Witnessing it all.
Witnessing it all.
Taking pleasure in all the parts.
Taking pleasure in all the parts.
Presencing myself.
Presenting myself.
Presencing myself.
Presencing
Being
myself.
present in
Being
the moment.
Present in the moment.
Allowing best case scenarios.
Allowing best case scenarios.
To unfold.
To unfold.
Before my very eyes.
Every day I invest about 3 minutes and I write a DM, a handwritten letter or a text or an email, and I send it to 3 people, because if I do 3 minutes, if I just take 3 minutes a day over the course of a year, that's 1,000 seeds I'm planting. This is how it works, man. You gotta put yourself out there. It's okay if you don't get 997 people responding, but 3 people are interested in whatever you're doing. So I'm really always top of mind, consistently, as a habit, reaching out to people, and it's always one way. I was like, Michael, I thought you might like this video on a new sauna heater, because I know you like saunas. It's one way. I'm not asking for anything. I'm sending things that I think people would be interested in. I'm thinking of them. And that's a great way to break through the clutter. And it's a great way for people to feel like, wow, like he or she listens and cares.
Instead of viewing others as bad or wrong or evil, simply view them as limited. Their level of consciousness limits them to unpalatable behaviors, and they simply cannot do better considering their current level of understanding and awareness. They are not bad, they are simply limited. This small shift in perspective allows you greater peace, greater compassion, forgiveness, and grace. Remember, the higher you move in consciousness, the less fault you find in others.
The real definition of a CEO is a scary one. So if you say you want to be a CEO, here's what a CEO is. It's you go out, you hire the smartest people you can possibly find. You tell them to fix problems. Then they find the problems that are so hard, even the smartest people you can't find can't solve them. They bring them back to you, and you have one job only, which is to deal with the worst problems that the smartest people that you know can't solve. Yeah. That's all a CEO is. And so if you think you are anything more than a firefighter in the most complex fires of all time, you're crazy. The CEO is not a fun, easy, breezy position. I've never met a CEO that felt that way. That's why they moved to chairman after a while, because they let somebody else deal with it. And so I think that's exactly right.
When my generation dies, so will the memory of life before scrolling. The memory of life before instant access, when moments and memories were meant for just us. When awkward silences turned into human connections, when childhood boredom fueled curiosity. A time before kindness could be monetized and confrontations had to be said out loud. We have drifted so far away from who we are to present who we wish we were, and we've gotten lost along the way. And even though that memory might die with us, the longing won't. That longing to disconnect so that we can reconnect to the only thing that's ever really mattered: each other.